Welcome to your first video for Number Sense 2, Module 2, Media Lesson 4A, Adding and Subtracting Decimals. In this first example, we're going to add decimals using the area model. So let's read the directions. Use the decimal grids to shade the addends of the addition problem. Then combine your addends in a new grid to find the sum. So note, we call the numbers we are adding in an addition problem the addends, and we call the simplified result the sum. So for example, these are our addends and our sum will be our final answer. So let's look at the first one. We have 3/10 plus 5/10. So I am going to shade 3 orange strips in the first one. And this represents 3/10, and 5 in the second one. Now remember, adding is to combine two amounts. So the sum are these two put together in a new unit. So there's the first one. Now I'm going to tack on another 5 for the second one. Fill this in just a little bit better. And you can see that the sum would be 8 orange strips, which is 8/10. So as we begin doing these problems, try to look for patterns so you can see how we're going to compute these problems without areas later. So you may have noticed that 3 plus 5 is 8, and there we have 8/10, and the decimal's in the same place. Let's look at the next one. 4/100 plus 7/100. Well, for hundredths, I'm going to do 4 yellow squares and then 7 yellow squares. And combining these together, I'll first do the 4. 6 would take me to the top, and I have 1 more. So our result is 11/100. Or equivalently, it would be 1 orange strip and 1/100th, which we know is 0.11. We're going to look at 2 more. Here we're going to add 3/10 and 6/100. So 3/10, I'm going to use 3 orange strips. And then for 6/100, it will be 6 yellow squares. Now we'll combine these together in the last grid. And we'll take the 3 orange strips and tack on the 6 yellow squares. Now notice in this example, 3 plus 6 is 9, but we didn't end up with 9 of anything. We ended up with 3/10 and 6/100, which is 0.36 or 36/100. Okay. So, since the orange strips and the yellow squares are different unit fractions, we wouldn't add 3 of these plus 6 of these directly. Okay, so we don't always just add the digits that we see. It's going to depend on what their unit fraction value or place value is. Now let's look at the last one. We have 35/100 or 3/10 and 5/100. Our second number is 1/10 and 8/100. Now we're going to combine these together. So notice there's a total of 4 orange strips. And then we had 5 yellow squares plus an additional 8. So that would be 5 for the first one, another 5 from the 8 plus 3 more. So 5, and then 5 and 3 is 8. So this represents our sum. So notice in this case we have 4 orange strips, but notice there's another whole column filled with yellow, so that would be 5/10 and 3/100. So we have 0.53.